All right, 4:40, let's go ahead and get the drainage committee meeting started. Let the record reflect that all members are present. Now the 11 items on the agenda today. Drainage. All right, item number 1, update on Lower Texas, Monterey, Conshan, and Himalaya Canal. Mr. Sawa, please.
Conshan Road.
Was that Conshan Road?
Road.
Monterey Constant.
We also have Georgette Street.
All the Constan Road is part of the Monterey Canal Lower Texas project that was brought into that adjusted scope. So that is under that design scope right now. The status of the project right now is we are waiting on the permit for the Himalaya Canal. We have been in contact with DNR and the Army Corps of Engineers in removing the trees and debris from that canal. It was generating about 5 acres of impact to bottomland hardwood and marshland wetlands. We were trying to reduce that to make this, if we were able to reduce that to under an acre of impact, they would deem it as a general programmatic permit, which did not require any mitigation. So we've been going back and forth with them as late as this afternoon. The plan is to bring in a marsh buggy, do the removal and excavation from the water stock, not doing any tree clearing along those banks and sides. And then we would mulch that tree material and spray it along the banks. That should, I'm running the calculations today, and between today and tomorrow, if those impacts are less than an acre, we're going to be resubmitting that. And if that's the case, that they're going to take however long they take to review that. But the plan is to get these impacts low enough where it can be issued as a general programmatic permit, which should move it along much quicker.
Mr. Burrow, any questions?
A lot of. Which y'all plan? You're gonna brown up the tree?
Yeah, we're gonna have to chip them.
We ain't gonna have enough money. How about throw them over the levee? That's what we kind of discussed.
That's what you can't do
Why
that.
not?
Because they consider that an impact to the wetlands, and that's what they don't want.
In the canal, it's damn,
I understand.
yeah, it's worse.
I understand.
And it's 3 storms.
Yes, sir.
With those damn trees in it. Nothing was done.
Yes, I understand.
FEMA, they have no money left, I guess. I don't know. They don't want to service like they used to.
Right, but the Himalaya Canal, Constan Road, the Monterey, that is all part of the larger project that you have approved and we have funding for. We adjusted the scope a while back before the jury to include the Himalaya Canal, the Constan Road and so forth. So that's how that's being taken care of. This is not being funded by FEMA or any other agency to clean those canals. I'm not saying you shouldn't seek, if there is possible funding to do that. You may certainly want to seek that. It would help. But as it stands right now, we've got to have this permit, whether it be a general programmatic permit or if they deem it a 404 or full coastal use permit, is what we're trying to avoid by avoiding the impacts, because as you said, we don't have any money for mitigation and cost.
Yeah, but do you have enough money? You have to grind these trees up to do it in that project?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is budget. There is the grinding of the trees and spraying it is simply the renting of a mulcher that they're going to sit on the front end of they're going to sit that on the bank, and as they pull the trees out, you have to have somebody there feeding them, and it's not that expensive.
Okay.
So what you do with the mulch?
You see it right there.
Spread it along the banks.
Yeah.
What's the tree there? It's the same damn thing. It's not, it's unmulched.
It's not in the canal. I can't. I understand. I understand that. I understand that they're not allowing us to do that.
Conshan, what's going on with Conshan Road?
Constan Road is part of the design of that Monterey Canal
Do
project.
something quick.
We are. We're changing the culverts down both sides of that road. There's going to be culverts installed down both sides of that road that will then bring that water into the Monterey Canal with flat gates on the ends to stop backwater from coming up.
And how about to the buy?
That's another portion. You're talking about the outlet
Coming
of
to the buy.
the outlet of the pump goes over the levee to the bayou. That is also being cleared and cleaned under that project, but that is not in
What's the
wetlands.
size
That's
of the
high, that's
pipe
high
under the
land.
highway there, you know?
See that?
The size of the pipe under the highway to get the water from the bayou to the mill when they had operations.
If I remember correctly, I believe those are two 10-foot box culverts.
And you're still open.
Yes, sir. The box culverts are open. The discharge there is
The water's
clogged by.
open now, the canal is open now?
No, that canal needs to be cleaned as part of that project.
No. But I'm talking about the other one, by Supreme Road. That used to be the inlet from the bayou. For the pumps, that pumped at the mill.
Are you talking about? Yeah, but that was an intake. You're
Right.
talking about an intake pump that fed the old Supreme Sugar.
The whole mill. Yeah.
Correct. That canal.
When our Supreme is for sale.
I
That's
understand
another
that,
thing I
but that's
want to
not-
accelerate
that's not
things
within the
down
scope of
because
this project.
whoever buys, we may not have, right of ways.
Understand.
So Joseph, where are you on this project?
As soon as I have the Himalaya Canal permit in hand, I will make whatever adjustments according to that permit that I need to do to the plans, and then we will issue the plans to the parish for approval, and we'll be ready to go to
What's the
bid.
estimated cost on this project?
We're right at 1 million for everything.
Where is this funding coming from, Mr. Bro?
We already have.
You had originally, this was set from, you had two projects originally under Mr. Johnson's scope. And that was the Lower Texas project.
How much we had in it?
$1.5 million.
He's correct, right at about 1.6 total.
All right, hurry up and try to get this permit.
I am. As
application
soon as I have
finished,
this
that way Mr.
permit-
Brooke could move forward with this project.
Correct. The remainder of the plans are fairly complete. I am holding off on this Himalaya Canal because I'm not gonna do work twice. I've got to make the adjustments to whatever the permit says I have to do. So once that's done, within 30 days of receipt of that permit, we'll have an issued set of plans to the jury.
So how long do you think before the permit's in hand?
If they deem it a general programmatic permit, 60 days.
Call them tomorrow
Yes, sir.
and every day till we get it.
I was on the
Every
phone with him
day.
4 times today.
Every day.
All right, let's move on.
And I'll go with you.
Item number
Yes,
2,
sir.
discuss the Labradorville drainage canal.
Mr. Jeff, I'd like to table it, cause I wanna meet with the farmer for when he does his maps. So we can see what, blocks he's gonna bust out and have in fallow ground. So we can see where we can bank spall, or if it's blocks away, we're gonna have to use trucks to truck it to that block along in their same property line. So, I need to meet with him so I can get figures straight. I would have some false numbers right
All
now.
right, we'll just table that. You good with that, John? All right. Item number 3, request approval to put the remaining $6,748.86 to project 93-22-5 for culvert installation at 4910 Highway 308, Ward 1.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I put this on the agenda, to put those remaining funds so we can move forward, with this project in front of the community center.
All right,
So I'd like to allocate this from my drainage allocation.
I don't understand the wording. It says to put remaining.
It was.
That's the balance
That's
what you
all the
need.
balance that I didn't have from the
Okay.
last year,
Yeah,
from
last
last
year.
But to
year.
put it from the current year's
Yeah,
allocation.
Yeah,
Okay.
Motion.
motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, request approval to conduct exploration, evaluation, excavation at 2373 Highway 308, Ward 2.
$200, I'm good.
This is, we previously received a couple of quotes to have a contractor do this job. You'll flip out a few pictures behind it. It has gotten worse, since the original quotes have happened, and the contractors do fear that the culvert itself that's attached to the catch basin has become dislodged from the one that passes under the highway. So I'd ask for the funds for us to go exploratory dig it to just verify that. And the process right now, the project's gonna have to be reported. Because of we're not gonna be able to salvage that catch basin anymore. Like the quotes that we received, we're trying to do.
Let's go, I'm good with it.
You go with $1,200, Jim?
600.
36.
Wait, 600.
All right, $600 from rural drainage.
Yep.
All right,
Make a
motion by
approve
Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
it. All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, request approval to dig outfalls along Oakley Road, part 4.
I'd like to table this too. I have to meet with Mr. Joseph again to, line out exactly what we were gonna do in-house. I have sort of a pre-plan made, but I just wanna make sure I have my figures straight on it.
Okay. Item number 6, request,
Aaron, I have one question too about that same area. The one on Georgette Street, check that going through the highway.
No, sir.
That's one we have discussed previously.
The one
That's
we,
gonna take care of that, Georgette Street. It comes from the canal to the by. It has been stopped up.
okay,
You can get that done at the same time. This is just a couple of hundred yards away. Couple of hundred feet away.
what I might have to do with that one is, I might have to do a project too, because we might have to dig to find it on the side of the road.
We got found it. Needs to get through it now,
The one we looked at with the First Water District?
probably. It's along that tree line. The tree line is off for the trees too. Going to the canal.
Okay.
Georgette Street. All it was outfalls to stop it, all of it. From Goshen Road, when I first got this, here, January, put in to clean out all of Goshen Canal, not road, Goshen Canal to the bridge in Lavender.
it's been like that for over 5, 6 years now, Mr.
100
Jones, since
years,
I've been
some of
here,
them.
so let's move on.
Move on.
Yeah, good luck. Item number
We're gonna work
6.
on it. I hope that you all help. me
Yeah.
with it.
All right, I've been trying for the past 6 years, sir.
Good.
Item number 6, request approval to reseal the outfall culvert inside of the catch basin at 4222 Highway 1.
And then it pays a number, I don't know, look at it.
Yeah, you see this, we just have to remortar the culvert in the box. Or, I don't know if it was damaged, something passing through it, but the plastic folded back on it a little bit. We just have to reseal it.
Make a motion.
All right, well, $215. All right, motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, request approval for culvert replacement at 152 Peterbilt Lane, Ward 6.
Yeah, it's just a collapsed culvert in the yard, it should be a 20-foot section. Yeah, it's a viable project.
Can I make a motion? to approve that project.
All right, total cost $900. Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, request approval for culvert replacement at 148 Highway 403, Ward 6.
Yes, it's either collapsed or we have a impassable block. We're driving the culvert cleaner from both directions. It stops in the same place in between these two driveways in the photo. Yeah.
Total cost $3,700.
I make a motion that.
Motion by Mr.
We
Carter,
have to cut both cements for that?
No, in between.
in between the cement.
Was it $3,700 for that?
Yeah.
Everything expensive now, Mark.
30-inch culverts, Mark.
Oh, 30 inch cut.
Got a motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, request approval to conduct rotatory evacuation. 1618 Highway 1.
The last big rain we had, this one became a problem with water coming on through Highway 1 itself, over the fog line. I'm asking that we approve a little labor so we can exploratory dig to the rear of the cement of this business to find the root of the pipe and to see how far either the jaws or the metal has become damaged or collapsed, to see what we need to replace. Also, in the process of this, when I get a right of way for the property, I'm gonna see if we can avoid having to demolish and re-pour all of the cement right there, because they have vacuum cleaners for the car wash that's there. If we can pass that outfall in that same property on another route to try not to mess with the cement.
All right, I make a
And
motion.
a total cost of $600 for the excavation. Motion by Mr. Carter.
Well, before I second that, I got a question for you, Eric. Weren't we supposed to purchase a camera to be able to put in these culverts to
Yeah,
do inspections that way?
we have one, the GPS locator on it isn't the best. We did get a cheaper version. We've tried before to use the Jeep on it, and it's not too accurate. So the cameras, where we've used the camera before now, we've used it plenty of times, it's just the locator on it is not the best.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, request approval to sweep, Highway 403 outfall along railroad tracks, Ward 6.
Yeah, it's just, look at the photos, I'm sorry. It's just silted in, survival project to improve drainage.
Where you know where the falls on that one?
That one's just $2 on property, it could be banked there.
Total cost $2,400.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Carter.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, request to approval to conduct for excavation at 717 Highway 1000.
Yeah, this would be, consistent of exposing an existing concrete culvert under West Star Road, and the construction of a catch basin on the resident side so that they can tie in, drainage pipes to it to help drain their property.
Total cost of $1,800. Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Hey, Jamie, just a, question. Leroy just mentioned about a camera, trying to be able to identify whatever. There may be restrictions within our, culverts, et cetera. Anybody ever thought about one of those big vacuum trucks?
The super bank is
Yeah.
very expensive to operate.
It's very expensive to operate.
You
Or
maintain-
rent.
Or rent.
No, I think that's something we could have bought through, in the early stages. As it deals with drainage, we could have purchased a vacuum truck through Gomez.
I don't think.
I'm just
I
asking,
don't
just
think
throwing it out there,
purchasing
because I
would be
see the
right-
vacuum.
would be the right idea. I think if we get a lot of work for it, we ran it for a couple of days and it come with a crew.
Yeah.
And let them go out and do it. If we get a lot of work that we need it.
And the only reason why I bring it up, because I've seen it in my area, along with the Platinville Drainage Project that's been going on. They've used the vacuum truck where they've had,
Utilities mostly.
yeah, I mean, but they, the contractor's been using the vacuum truck.
And it's good, it
So-
works.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
I think if we just had a regular routine maintenance done, and we could pull some tires or anything through culverts, it would help.
Just throwing it out there.
All right, motion to adjourn. By Mr. Bro, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Motion carried. We adjourn.
5 o'clock, we'll get the personnel committee meeting started. Let the record reflect all members are present. Item 1, discuss installation of inward view cameras in parish vehicles.
Yeah, I received all of the documents from Justin whenever he had looked into it last. We confirmed that the pricing is still the same per vehicle on its own state contract. I just need to add the new vehicles we just received to that pricing list to have a more solid number for y'all. Also, if we do choose to move forward, I would just need some time to make some policies. And I need the kind of guidelines to go along with it. So I'll just, I need to take that also.
What kind of policy are you talking about?
Just like the policies of if we're gonna audit them, if it's gonna be on a incident base or a daily base, weekly base. I plan on reaching out to some companies that have them, kind of reading their policies to see how they do it, see what's best practice. And then go from there.
How would that differ from the GPS monitoring that we have now?
It's the same system.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I
The
guess. it's-
GPS module stays the same, it's just
Yeah, I mean, as far as, I mean, unless we,
You got cameras.
yeah, I mean, we just, we all feel comfortable with kicking them out and we just go with the flow, I guess. Like, if
What
we
you mean
look at them
kicking
per
them out?
incident, like, just install them and we go from there.
So you wanna see what's the employee's response to having camera looking at them, is what you're saying?
That's a protocol to follow.
No.
It's very easy, I mean, you just install the cameras, and they're there.
Yeah, I get it. I really think there should be
Literature to go with it, back it up.
yeah, like some policies of
Just give them
course.
the time to check with other
How-
parishes, see what they got in place.
I'm not
Discipline would be
understanding.
involved and
Seeing what?
like how discipline would be involved if the whole thing about an audit, like if we, it's gonna be how I'm gonna have to view them. I need something to go off of.
Item number 2, reappoint Paul LeBlanc as OSEP Director for 2025.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Alcom, Mr. Fonville. All in favor? Nays, motion passed. Item 3, discuss replacement of Ms. Bridget Landry, 3rd Justice of the Peace of Assumption Parish.
Anybody come forward?
I spoke to Miss Donna Rudy. And, she said she'd be willing to take it over until the election arrives, as long as she gets, compensated for it.
That'd be a good ethics question, I guess, huh?
Is there any language or any ethic laws or anything that states that we have to appoint someone?
The people need.
You're gonna have to
representation.
appoint
Yeah.
someone for
Okay.
the residents of Ward 7, 8, 9. You know, Bridget is here.
Just to make
No,
sure.
I just saw the notes that said.
You know,
we
I'm
had
like,
to appoint
Bridget,
somebody
you can
within
maybe
20 days,
contest
so
to this.
someone has
Once-
appoint tonight, 'cause y'all didn't let me know.
Ryan had passed, didn't you and Ross take over? And y'all was able to split?
That's okay, but did you split the money?
Yeah, they was able to
No, we
split
did
it.
3 months. It was 6 months before his went on a ballot when he passed away. I did 3 months and then I handed it all over her and she did the final 3 months and then it went on the ballot.
Did y'all
They
get
got paid,
compensated
yes.
extra? Y'all got fix this question.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll say that extra.
so.
Well, they split
yes.
his salary.
I was just get a pay for Secretary of State,
So-
just,
Yeah, we
just to
just gotta
cover us.
verify it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I was willing to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ms. Donna's willing to do it, and Ross said she would help her out if she had a little bit too much. And then give the pay to Donna.
So I think we need to make a motion to put a resolution in place. That the jury agrees, to let
Donna Booty.
Ms. Donna Booty, represent that area and send that resolution to the Secretary of State.
How long before the election, Bridget?
June.
Oh, it's not till June.
Just make sure we got things right. And then if the Secretary of State comes back on us, then we'll have to do something.
You're not on the committee, but motion approved, Ms.
Well,
Donna.
the deadline for the
Voting.
election was January 2nd, so I think we missed that. So
That
it
was for
says something
March.
about for fall. You wrote
Oh,
this
no,
note.
that one, okay. We'll have to call for the fall elections in June. We missed that one, so we'll have to call for the fall ones in June.
June is not fall, don't you? June
Summer.
will go
They
fall.
told me. I wrote down what they told me.
This March, so we have to do.
Motion to, send the Secretary of State a, question that Ms. Donna Booty can do it in the form of a resolution from the jury.
I can check with them tomorrow, so y'all know, because otherwise y'all might have to have a special meeting to appoint somebody else.
I think they can, but it would be safe.
Motion by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Fonville. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion passed.
If so, we could get something in writing, Melissa, That way we can get it to Ms. Donna and we should get to start off as soon as possible. That we can become-
Thank you, Brett, for your service for these years. How many years was it?
17.
17. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, Bridget. Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Nakane. Second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Motion, meeting adjourned.
All right, let's go on and get started with the road and bridge committee meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present. We have one item on the agenda, but we'll move to have a deviation later on. First item, discuss repairs needed on the Ward 8 lift bridge.
Yeah, at this time, it takes two people to operate the lift bridge. One person has to climb to the top of it in an extremely unsafe manner, and the second person has to be down on the ground. And they have to operate the up and down function of the bridge with a screwdriver and a contactor. I reached out to two contractors that have worked on the bridge in the past. And we're gonna get them to come view it and give us some more quotes to get the repairs to where we can get the ground up and down, hand function working. Also, the machine brake at the top, the electronic machine brake, that has to be operated by hand now. That's why a person has to climb up there. So like as of now, I would recommend that we don't operate it, use it to open and close right now.
Good recommendation, because we never should allow employees to go up there unsafe without a harness climbing the bridge to lift the bridge.
So right now, there is a ladder, but there's a ladder to get to one section, but there's another part is you have to, again, walk down a beam to the next ladder. It would take like a man lift to get somebody to that top ladder section, in order for it to be operated with two people. But what I'm saying now is, if we would like to schedule a date, where we can get a man lift there to have somebody up top to open it, we can leave it open for a certain amount of time. And like notify the public that we need to get anything out.
Yeah, what we need to do, we need to schedule a day or something.
And then
Coming out there, look, this day here, don't move it out or in, cause it'll be closed for 2 or 3 months. We need to do something like that.
Cause there's that and the barricade functionings, the barricades aren't coming down like they're supposed to. A lot of that was due to the high water. I remember when I first got here, Brian was the one that showed me that the high water had messed up a ton of stuff with the barricade system. So I'm just trying to look to get it repaired, to operate something the way it's supposed to, so that we could keep using. But again, if y'all wanna put your heads together and pick a date.
Often a year the thing opens up.
Less than 12.
Do you have someone giving you an estimate for repairs on
No, the last one, they were back in like 2022.
We were looking at about 400,000 back then. And the water level exceeded, came over the gears, all the micro switches below. The braking system failed technically, so you operated by hand, it can be operated manually. And then we had a control issue on the top, because when the braking system failed, of course, the wiring was there. So this contract he's talking about, we brought him out. We did some surveys and they were having problems with finding the actual brake because it was so old. And they would have had to update the system, and then the cost us kept rising. That's when we fixed the gear to stop the squeaking noise, because the bridge was jumping. We pulled it, so there was $100,000 that was originally allocated. We used 40,000 of it to make the gear repair, to slide it over, and then rebolt it back in place. We fixed that portion of it. And then I had some issues with being able to, the contractors were in between, because one company went null and void and the other company opened, because they were working for the previous company. So they had to get their business up and running. They came back out, they evaluated the controls, they went after the pricing. And then I hadn't heard from them for quite some time. So we were operating it how we needed to at the time. We did it with a man lift a few times, and then it's very short. It only takes about maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most. Go up and down, pass a boat and come in and out. I think we've done what, 4 to 5 this year, Jamie? At the most about 5,
So, yeah, just give it, take. I know it's
and
less.
24, and then coming into this year.
Yeah, and like I said, I put 2 calls into people who have put their hands on it before. I'm getting one of them to update their, COI and W9, so that we can get them to come make an estimate on it, and, I'll just keep y'all updated from there.
Meantime, come up with a plan for the next meeting. I guess it affects Jamie and Myron the most. So y'all come up with a plan to see exactly what time frame that y'all like to go ahead and have this bridge open, rent the man lift, and make sure we shut it down. But moving forward, we need to make sure that that bridge somehow gets input into the off-road bridge system, because we've been having problems since 2011. I think it's went too far, but we need to make sure that it gets into the off-road bridge program.
It's in there, and all of the repairs that I'm talking about now, it's been recommendations from the state from, I guess, yeah, every year since they've been coming. I could forward the, last inspection that they did last year on it to y'all.
Alright. No action on that item. I would like to deviate, guys, just to see if we can get an update on, the substantial punch list side of the road program. So I would like to deviate. I can't deviate. but-
Motion to deviate.
Motion by Jamie, second by Leroy. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Sabah, can you give us just a
Yes,
little
the
brief update?
45-day lien period, as I told you all, has now ended. It ended, according to calendar days, it ended the day, January 3rd. So what I am doing now is, he did not complete all of the items on that itemized punch list, nor the dollar values attached. So at the next meeting, I will be making a recommendation to release whatever monies is owed for those items that are complete and to specification. And then we withhold the remaining funds and we dismiss the contractor. Our recommendation at that point is going to be to dismiss the contractor and then see whatever we have, if those items that are not completed, we would then go out and get a contractor to complete those items with the withheld money that we have.
Clavera, question. Since everything is ended, just like Mr. Sabah stated, some things have been completed, some things have not been completed. With what have not been completed, would that deem that contractor as unresponsible if there was another
This
contractor?
is the first I'm hearing of it.
Alright,
I need
Just
to
question.
review everything. I would prefer not to handle this
Yes,
on a
sir.
deviation.
we'll take it up at a later date.
All right.
Okay.
We knew it wasn't on the agenda, that's why we didn't have those recommendations for tonight.
I was just more interested in seeing if we reached the 45 days. And
Yes, yes, we did, and yes, there are items that are not completed.
So you'll have something at our next meeting.
Yes, sir, with recommendations.
What was the total on that punch list, Joseph?
Jamie, I don't recall.
Was it over 100 and something thousand? Was it
Huh?
over 100 and something thousand?
That sounds about right. I don't want to tell you a number. I don't remember.
So, do us a favor, please provide that informal report, send it to the jury and also attach Mr. Calabro, on that too as well, in case we need. to
Yeah,
make
we
some other-
just didn't have time to prepare that formal report with everything being, with the holidays and everything in it, and the bid date actually ended on the 3rd. I mean, excuse me, not bid date. The 45-day lien period ending on the 3rd. I didn't have time to prepare the recommendations for tonight, so, but they will be ready for the next meeting. And I will get them to you in advance.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, meeting adjourned.
We'll call to order the Finance Committee meeting at 5:15. Let the record reflect all members are present. Request approval to pay list of bills submitted through January 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the fourth quarter 2024 allocation for the Chamber of Commerce. There's some members of the chamber here to give us an update.
The website is going well right now. The membership listing has been updated.
I was just saying, good afternoon.
There are still some kinks we're having to work out, to get it just right the way we're wanting it to appear. We're gonna continue to have updates made to the website on a monthly basis. We've been working diligently on the upcoming banquet, which is, scheduled for Thursday, February 20th. Our guest speaker this year is Miss Dee Dee Bro. She's the retired head coach for LSU Gymnastics. We have completed our Teenager of the Year interviews. We have selected a candidate for the $500 scholarship. All other candidates are gonna receive $50 scholarship. We just selected our caterer and we've confirmed our menu, so the reservation forms will be going out this week. This year's banquet entertainment, we doing something a little different. We are going with Assumption Foundation of the Arts to get our entertainment from this year. So we're very excited to see what that group will have in store to help us out with entertainment. The deadline for Business of the Year nominations is January 24th. If there's anyone that anybody would want to nominate. We hope to receive reservation forms from everyone here for you to come out and support us at our banquet. We have come up with a new mission statement for the chamber. This new statement is: the mission of Assumption Area Chamber of Commerce is to connect business, community, and government to unite in our common goal of promoting economic well-being. We also decided we're gonna start doing a quarterly newsletter. Our first edition is gonna be coming out this month. On the newsletter, we're going to include sections for chamber activities, community events, job boards. We're gonna have local promotions, information from the school board superintendent, state happenings, and we would also like to include a message from the police jury president as well to put on the bulletin each quarter. After the first edition, members will have the opportunity, if they would like, to sponsor future editions of it for a minimal fee. Other than that, we're just focused on our banquet right now and getting everything in order for that. That's all we have for our report for the fourth quarter allocations. Does anyone have any questions for us?
I do have one question, and I know we have Mr. Pat Gordon here with South Central Planning.
Okay.
We received an email from them inquiring about any projects the parish may be interested in through the Delta Regional Authority to have South Central Planning apply, on behalf of the parish for a particular economic development type project. I think it'd be great if some of the chamber could meet with South Central Planning and a couple members of the jury to see if there's a particular project that the business community would like to see the parish apply for
Okay,
economic development.
sure.
So I don't know who would be, to make it there from the chamber, but I can forward that information that we received to y'all and y'all
Yeah,
can pass it around.
Yeah,
The
if you can just
business
forward it to the email, and then whoever checks the email will get it out to the entire board so we can see who would be available for the date, and we'll get as many people as we can there.
Anything to add to that, Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Blanchard. There are other grants, especially EDA grants, which are much larger than the DRA grants, that we work with other chambers throughout the region and work with the business communities on what's needed in the areas to create jobs. So we'd be glad to meet with y'all.
Absolutely.
And the police chief.
Thank you.
So when you send the email, just give us a person to contact to let them know who will be attending. Excuse me.
Sure.
Motion to approve the fourth quarter allocation.
Had a motion on the floor by Mr. Alcorn to approve fourth quarter allocation for the Chamber of Commerce. Second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You got a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Carter. Second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, we call the Engineering Grants Committee meeting order, record reflect all members are present. First item, update on GIS engineering, Jolimore, Bertrandville, Belrose, and Constantine.
Good afternoon, Jerry. Joe Lamar is still the same, waiting on funding. Bertrandville, actually have the contract, that I'm gonna need signatures on. And I do have one question. Are y'all gonna record the contract? Or? Yes.
We typically have the contractors record the contract,
Okay. Not a
and if
problem.
they refuse, then
No.
we're responsible for it.
Not a problem. We'll get the signatures, need to get the copies and get it to y'all. After that. The Belrose Lane, drainage, that is still being worked out, believe, to rescope. Just waiting on the, direction from that. And the Consian Canal project is still ongoing, and, they're generating the proposal.
Anything else?
So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next item, update from the Planners Design Group. I don't see no one here, I guess we have update, huh?
No, but they need to get some, I'm ready to start home.
Yeah, I'm sure, hit the last meeting either.
So one thing I can kind of update, you remember a few weeks ago, Chapel Basin Keeper came and gave us a presentation. I inquired to him about the mitigation requirement for the wetlands in that area. And I asked for some help from him in getting that taken care of. I know it's not on the short term, but, he is, I guess, granted a meeting with the colonel, with the Corps 4 times a year. And his next meeting's in March. And he offered me to attend with him to discuss this directly with the colonel and use his expertise to help drive the conversation with the colonel about, you know, are there really negative impacts by building a levee in this particular area to the wetlands?
Right.
And what is really the negative impact? So I know that's not I just wanted to give that update because that may help us avoid some of the mitigation costs.
When
for this
month,
project.
when you going?
March. Yeah, I don't have the date yet, but it's gonna be in March.
Well, that'd be a big help.
I'll reach out to Joe tomorrow. With DDG, because Spring Levis needs to move forward.
Yeah, then come to a meeting.
No doubt. All right, we'll do that. Next item, update from Infinity Engineering on Parish-wide sewer plant improvement project.
Yes,
Right.
sir, can you hear? Yes, sir, can you hear me?
Roll yours.
I have no update. There's no change. We're still waiting on front end documents from South Central Planning, I believe, is taking care of that.
We wait on South Central Planning for front-end documents.
And we also sent an email last night, last week. It might have been the week before. Just outlining cost and other information.
Right, I got Mr. Pat Gordon at the podium with South
Yeah,
Central.
Pat Gordon, South Central Planning. Of course, the committee's, meeting tomorrow, the Water Sector Committee, and they will be, taking action on the request by the police jury to phase in the, sewer fee rates over a 3-year period. They wanted the rates to take effect immediately at $55, as you remember. So, it was discussed at the police jury meeting, and it was decided that y'all would prefer to see a 3-year phase in. And so we submitted with, Mr. Blanchard's signature, I believe, a letter to, the Water Sector Committee and asking that they vary from this requirement. And, so we'll hear, Ebony will be there tomorrow. She'll make the presentation and we'll see what they say.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Brian?
That's it, sir.
Hold on.
After the Water Sector Commission gives us their decision, then where are we next?
We have to make a decision, if they grant us an extension, then we have the option to use the water sector grant that we were given to keep the project scope as was originally defined. If they deny that request, or we so choose to reject the funds, then we go on with all projects except for U of Virginia.
Anything else, Brian?
I do have a question. We still have a little bit of work to do with U of Virginia to get it completed. But I guess it's a better idea to just to wait and see what the outcome of the water sector decision is gonna be before we make any further changes. Because there would, if it re-enters the bid package, there would be some coordination and changes to that. So I think I'll just wait on that until we find out.
Right, so I get one question I have for you is, how long do you think it would take to complete that package to be ready to advertise for bid?
Well, right now you have a stamped bid package that excludes you of Virginia. To reincorporate it, we could probably get it done. I mean, I need to get with my department and other departments, but I would say probably by the end of mid-February.
Okay.
And
If you could just
that might change, it might be sooner.
get that number to Ebony, because she and I discussed that, being able to express that time frame to the Water Sector Commission at the meeting tomorrow.
Okay, I'll make some phone calls and to department managers and get a better idea of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Anything
sir.
else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Talk to you next time.
Yes, sir.
Next item. Update from the accounts grants coordinator.
Good evening. Update from ELOS, Constant Canal, the H&H study is under review by OCD. Bayou St. Vincent, they're moving forward with the RFQ for engineering services. And they're hoping to have the general policy update completed by the end of the month.
The movie, slowly but surely.
I have a couple of things I need to mention.
Was it?
I have a couple of things I need to mention on the radar.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so we received the capital outlay concurrence for the Shell Beach boat launch. However, we were notified that the funding we had from CPRA is state funding, and state funding cannot be used to match state funding. So Myron is short right now of about $91,121.80 in order to be able to purchase that piece of property. So capital outlay is holding off on everything until if and when he can find the matching funding that is needed for that one. Also, we discovered last week that an email was sent to Megan's email awarding us some additional capital outlay funding, and I sent that to all of you. Grant Park received $300,000. We had previously made an appropriation based on the application amount, which was like 396,000 somewhat. So we want to pass another resolution tonight to actually fund the 25% that is needed, because if we don't, then they won't give us 75%. They're gonna prorate it between the amount of funding that we say we have and the amount of funding that they say they're gonna give us. Assumption Pumps and Drainage received an additional $470,000 allocation. However, you have to come up with the 25% match on that money, which would be $117,500. Plotindale Drainage received another $1.733 million. It would require a 25% match of $433,438.
I didn't know we get that money.
And Lee Drive has another $1.7 million allocated to it also, which would require a $428,625 match. If the jury so chooses to send in the information needed on these grants, we'd have to have resolutions matching the money in order to secure the grant funding that they awarded to us. And it cannot be other state funding as a match.
So,
Yeah, they just teasing us, so.
so, I did have a conversation with Senator Price today. He did look up Act 5 based off the 24 legislative session. The only thing he noticed that was inputted was for Grant Park of the 300,000. He is meeting with LP&C next week to dive a little bit deeper. He did say, it just kind of stuck out, to him that, this has never happened before where they duplicated the money that they've already given you. So, can we just hold off from making a move? I mean, we can go ahead and do Chris's one because that was in there. Can we just hold off another 2 weeks until we get some more information on that? Because if that is so, I think it would look good if we was to send it back, but we have to find a way. But other than that, no, I wouldn't want us to spend any money. I want the senator to take a deeper dive into it to find out from FP&C, just to make sure. He did tell me a lot of the old project managers have retired. There's a lot of new folks there. They don't know if something might have been slipped through the cracks, but we just want to make sure so Assumption don't go ahead and spend money that they don't have and may not get back.
Oh, well, I spoke to 2 people and they both confirmed to me, but I mean, I would agree with you is that let them get confirmation from his
Yeah, I
end
want him to
also.
get confirmation, just to be safe. But we can definitely go ahead and do Critters one.
What's the amount on the match for Grant Park?
75,000.
It's 25% of that.
No,
It's
25% of 300.
300,000 is 75,000. And he already had an allocation for more than that, but we want to pass another resolution for just the 75, so they don't cut.
Give me that money.
Yeah,
I
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz that we do a resolution for the Grant Park match of 75,000.
And you got the money ready, right, Chris?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Bethune. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else? Thank you, ma'am. Update from South Central Planning Development Commission. Russell.
Pat Gordon, South Central Planning. And the first item that we have is a request that the parish president to sign off on a letter of credit application for grant for planning and construction in the amount of $300,000. Talked to capital outlay today, and they indicated that we need to try to push this into priority 1. Currently, it's in priority 5.
It's funded. Oh, it's
But it's
funded.
priority 5 right
Yeah,
now,
but
so we
he's-
got to get it moved to
We
1,
gotta get it moved.
which is the form that we need. to
Okay,
get
you gotta
signed.
fill that, okay.
That's correct.
Because Senator Price said it
And
did
so-
move up and it is funded.
And I believe they're gonna be
Yeah,
sending some other forms as well. I think this isn't the last one. So they have some catching up to do.
A motion to request approval and authorize the president to sign.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, could you
Yes,
take
sir.
your pass on?
Motion
Yes,
carries.
thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, we've got a few other things. We did complete the LGAP application, submitted that in, and part of the application, we did indicate that once the deadline was complete, that Assumption would be revising the application to go after the remaining $300,000 that would be left over after $100,000 that's allocated to the police jury and whatever is allocated to Napoleonville. So that was submitted. Also, there's an event that's coming up, Love the Boot. I think y'all did this last year, April. Did y'all do it last year? Yeah. And it is part of the Keep Louisiana Beautiful. We applied for those 5 garbage cans in different parks. This is all tied in together, same program. And so you might want to start thinking about what kind of program you want to put together. Do you want to do something similar to what was done last year? And if it is, I'd be glad to get with administration and do that. I think there was a litter pickup or something.
Yeah.
And beautification, like along the bayou side and then at the different parks like pressure washing, the pavilion.
One of the things I was thinking of is, VetNep does clean, they do biofouche cleanup. And I think they do that in March. It would be great if we could get them to bump it up to, or push it back to April instead. And then, all the parishes could join into the same project. And you could clean up biofouche in here also. So anyway, it's just a thought. Okay, and, of course, the Water Sector Commission's gonna be meeting tomorrow. We've discussed that already. And we've been working with Paul on the resilient communities. He's waiting on a response from OCD on the final information that he's gonna need for the final application. And we've been in touch with him as well as Leanna in our office, and we'll be ready to go when he gets that information. And that's all we have at this time.
Any questions for this one?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Pat, that program for the sewer system fund that y'all had,
Yes,
did y'all receive the funding for that program yet?
we sure did.
Okay, because we have a lot of people been calling and they've been telling them that they haven't got the funding yet.
No, they've been calling our office?
Calling y'all office.
No kidding. I'm gonna have to look into that. No, we've been getting phone calls and we've been taking the applications, and then we're going out and making the inspections and determining if the units need to be repaired, replaced, or whatever. So they may not be talking to the right people, I guess. I know that we sent out an email to everyone at South Central Planning, letting them know about the program, and that Jonathan Eastwood was the contact person in our office. So everyone in commissions should be aware of this.
Okay, check, give me a call tomorrow.
I'll be glad to.
Okay.
Good.
We'll follow up on that. Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to get an update on where we are for the Bell Road Walking Trail. I know we have a contract signed with Mr. Savoy. I just don't know a time frame of being able to receive the plans and go out to bid.
Yes, we have a set of preliminary plans completed. We're finishing up the lighting portion. Our proposal is to have a preliminary submitted to the jury for you all to review for any changes by middle of next week. Like I said, the only thing we would love to do there is finish up the lighting.
Thank you. All right, next item, update on fire hydrant project.
Yes, we did receive the finalized list from Mr. LeBlanc. I have spoken to Mr. Francis with the Waterworks as well as the contractor. We are scheduling a kickoff meeting. Right now, that date of that meeting is tentatively 10 a.m. Next week on the 15th. Once everyone confirms, I'll be able to set that date in stone, but we received the hydrants from Mr. LeBlanc about 2 days ago. So we immediately reached out to the Waterworks so we can coordinate the kickoff of that project.
Good. Next item, update on ag center roof project.
The termite treatment has been scheduled. We're just waiting on the service, and I'll just notify Mr. Joseph whenever it's complete.
Termite service hasn't been done yet. You're waiting.
Yeah, we're waiting for the service now.
But is that really stopping us from planning to move forward? Because from my understanding, we gotta rip out all the wood that's there anyway, right?
Yeah, he was saying the contractors are having issues with coming and giving quotes. That's the rest of it?
That is correct. He was moving he was moving in accordance with our last recommendations, and one of the questions that the jury had was, why are we getting, such high numbers in disparity? And one of the things that was brought up was the fact that the termites are still active and prevalent. If you all wish, I have no problems moving forward and putting the project back out to bid, based on the assumption that all the termites will be eradicated, and see if we can't get some better pricing.
I guess I thought that we were gonna be basically given a recommendation of, do we go back with an all metal structure or do we tear it down and rebuild it?
Or,
We did look at that, and I thought I had made that recommendation pretty clear. As far as the new design is an all-metal roof structure, keeping the existing block. At that point, nothing would be termite, an invitation for termites at that point, because it's all either block or metal. That was now, if you're looking to know whether it's cost effective to tear the building down and put up a metal building structure. No, I don't think you're gonna be saving any money. I think you're gonna come right back to the numbers you're looking at and possibly higher, looking at construction costs as they are today, even going back with the temporary metal structure. If you're going back with something of that size and nature, then yeah. I do think that the estimates that we received for the removal and replacement of the roof structure are out of line, but I think once we have a building that contractors are going to look at and termites are no longer an issue. I had also talked to Mr. Landry about possibly having the jury just, once the termites are eradicated, going ahead and removing the removable items such as the stove, refrigerators and so forth. Those types of items would no longer be of a liability to a contractor who's trying to protect that and having to take that roof off. That was also contributing to the cost. Because contractor, obviously, if he has to take the whole roof off and keep that equipment safe or stored, he's charging you for that.
All right. So the contractor coming in to replace the roof and,
The project would need to be put back out to bid because we did reject all bids at the last ones that were received.
So wasn't the original drawing on all metal roof structure? Originally, when we drafted it, it was all metal roof structure, correct?
No, it's a metal roof, but it has a timber framing. The new design that is out, yes, we were switching it to all metal. That's correct.
so we need to do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that was in the proposed plan based on the original plans that we put out. I thought if you.
That's what I meant, we were going to an all metal
Yes, we
structure
were going to an all metal.
from the original.
From the original plan, which was originally, and that achieves two things for you. Because it is a kitchen and you have cooking equipment and so forth, an industrial hood system in there. The old structure or the original design, had a fire rated ceiling above the drop ceiling. We're not having to put that back because now we have an all non-combustible surface.
So we need to rebid.
It does need to be rebid, yes, sir.
We're in the process of that. You need action. from
I
us
need
tonight.
approval from this jury to re-advertise.
I need a motion to approve to go out, re-advertise for bids. Moved by Mr. Charles, second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor? Proceed.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Update on courthouse renovations project.
So there was a brief meeting today to discuss where we was gonna move forward. And the most important item would be the sewer. So we reached out and got a little pricing, and I'd like to request approval to perform sewer line inspections, interior and exterior on the courthouse and the attached buildings with the parking lot included. So we get an evaluation of what our sewer system looks like. But not to exceed the $10,000 limit that we have for sewer. Just so you know, a pump truck's $3,000 a day. To bring it on site, you guys were talking about a truck, but a sewer truck at that capacity, their trucks are 12-yard trucks. And that's a pretty good sized truck to be able to pump the unit. If they have to blow the line that is collapsed, then they come back in and run a camera again, they gotta suck it out. And discharge it, but our limit is 10,000, so we'll do 10,000 not to exceed.
What is that limit based on?
In our manual, it says that we have a procurement limit of 10,000 for sewer or plumbing.
Okay. I thought you meant that it was a project
No,
limit.
no.
So does the estimate you have, will that be under 10,000 or are we expecting?
Well, it's at $2,200 per day, but the pump truck can also be charged if needed at $375 an hour. So it's
What
roughly.
pump truck is this?
That's from Keith Lodge,
It's a super bank?
Super Bag. And, It's a 10-hour day based on 2,200 to run all the piping. And I have a meeting scheduled tomorrow at 2 o'clock with one of their representatives to make sure that the job is possible. So I would like to get approved for the funding. I actually got with Ms. Melissa today and introduced all the appropriate documents to make them a vendor. So we're there and we can move forward with it. So I'm asking to request approval for the $10,000 allocation. Up to, not to exceed.
Not to exceed.
Below 10,000. 999,
999. 1 cent less.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be based on the estimate that they
Yeah.
give for us to,
But we can't go 10,000.
Still can't exceed it
If we go
without-
10,000, then you have to get quotes.
sure, but the deliverable in this will be something that we can use to give to a design
Yes,
professional to
so-
redesign the sewer system.
As we spoke about today, there'll be a phone call between us and the architect. A team's meeting, so we have all the information clarified that what they're asking for is included.
And so that everybody understands that the purpose of this is so we can move forward with the bathrooms renovations project at the courthouse complex. We had started that conversation and obviously we have these sewer issues that need to be rectified prior. So what the design professional wants to do is add this to the overall scope so that way we can do everything all at one time. Then the secondary phase of that would be the discussion of the entire courthouse structure that we've been talking about. We need just a little bit more clarity to utilize these monies first and then move in that next phase after that.
All right, thank you, thanks. All right, so I entertain a motion to, approve, Mr. Blankenship to, do the sewer system.
And the funding source will be the 100,000 already allocated from the
Right.
building fund to the courthouse.
Correct.
Motion by Mr. Bro, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any update on Tacopon? No.
Not that I've heard, no.
None. Next item, request approval for 1-foot hardship variance on the side property lines at both 3207 and 3209 Lee Drive, Ward 8. Mr. Justin?
Sir, so, there's a lot that, property owner is trying to divide. There's 2 structures, a shed and a house on it, and they're trying to divide it between those structures. So the surveyor and the landowner requesting a 1-foot variance from the overhangs, because it's required 5 feet in our ordinance, and they're only gonna be 4 feet from each property line. So that'll be on both of the new lots.
Is it the same owner?
Right now, yes, brother, sister. That's why I don't have any signatures from them, because they're the ones requesting it.
They're the one who requested. So that will be marked on, is that marked on the courthouse out there? Somebody who wants to buy the property and say,
No, sir, it's not marked. We just keep it, we keep the file. at
we
our
keep the file?
office. And I mean, it'll show the measurements on the plat, but
Gotcha. No issue.
no, sir.
I entertain a motion for, the variance.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Blanchard. Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor? Opposed? Variance granted. Next item, request approval to go out for RFQs for building repairs due to price quotes exceeding threshold requiring procurement.
So originally, I had walked the buildings with some contractors.
What
with
building?
3 appropriate people, the health unit, the sheriff's substation, the sheriff's office. And those buildings were requiring a substantial amount of work due to water damages. We hadn't heard from the insurance adjuster yet, but he reached out to me yesterday. So I'd like to table this item because he also said they may send a site inspector out. We'd like to see what their view of it is first, and they may assist us in, providing the appropriate work scope to go out for bid.
Motion table, it's table. Any other item? Motion to adjourn, Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we'll go ahead and call to order the public hearing. That was scheduled for 5:50. We'll now have any public comment on the proposed adoption of the budgets for 2025. Second call. Last call, let the record reflect, there is no public comment, for the public hearing. Get a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakane, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Public hearing is adjourned.
Yeah, four like our. Colorados that we.
We'll call to order the regular meeting of the Assumption Parish Village Jury for January 8th, 2025. Let the record reflect all jurors are present. Please rise for the prayer and pledge. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and that we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen.
Pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, the accountant will open nominations for president for 2025.
I nominate Leroy Blanch for president.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes.
Any more nomination? You gotta ask for any
Oh,
more.
sorry. Any other nominations? Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you all.
You're welcome.
Now open up nominations for vice
I
president.
nominate Jeff Nakhan, vice president. I second that.
Have a motion to nominate Mr. Nakhan for vice president, second by Mr. Mathern. Any other nominations? Hearing none, all in favor for the nomination of Mr. Nakhan as vice president? Those opposed? Motion carried.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all, gentlemen.
Next item is accept list of committees for year 2025.
You did the same?
Is there any committees that someone, I guess first off, would want to step away from? Or any committees that someone would want to be added to?
Motion to keep it the same?
I would like to be added to finance and engineering, if possible.
You can. We don't want to load them up, so,
Did you want finance and
Yeah.
I mean, you got on finance? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I dropped down, you want, Dave,
All right, on finance.
That's what you want.
What about engineering?
We don't need, we were just trying to limit it to 5, just so
To
that
5, yeah.
we didn't know. I mean, the jury's pretty much been present at each of the meetings, so it's just a matter of us having a quorum for those on the committee.
all right, so yeah, Mr. Pondville, the finance and engineering. What else is cool?
All right, hearing no other adjustments to the committees,
Motion to accept the list of the youth.
all right, motion by Mr. Nakhan to accept the request for changes. Second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, set time of regular police jury meetings.
Same time?
Is
y'all
it
do it
formality? So,
3 o'clock?
got a motion by Mr. Alcorn to keep the meetings at 6 PM on the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month, except for those special ones that have already been adopted at our December meeting.
2 o'clock?
Second.
Second by Mr. Pondville, all in favor? Opposed? All right, are there any corrections to the minutes of the special meeting from December 30th, 2024? Hearing none, seek a motion to accept. Motion to accept by Mr. Mathern. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment period. This time we accept public comment for any item on the agenda. Second call. Last call. Let the record reflect there is no public comment. Drainage Committee report, Chairman Pondville.
afternoon, the Drainage Committee meeting was held at 4:40. All members were present. We had an update from Mr. Saba on the Lord Texas, Monterey, Conshan Road and Himalaya Canals. We tabled item number 2. We approved the remaining balance of project 93-225, the total amount of $6,048.86. We, exploratory excavation we approved it at 2373 Highway 308. We approved to dig the outfalls along Oakley Road. We approved to reseal outfall culvert inside the catch basin at 4222 Highway 1. We approved the culvert replacement at 152 Peterville Lane. We approved the culvert replacement at 148 Highway 308. We approved to exploratory excavation at 6018 Highway 1. We approved to sweep the outfall along the old railroad tracks on Highway 403. And we approved the exploratory excavation at 717 Highway 1000, Ward 7. I present this all in form of a motion.
Motion to accept drainage report by Mr. Pineville. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel Committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 5 o'clock. All members were present. Item 1 was tabled. Item 2, we have reappointed Mr. Paul LeBron, OSHA Director for 2025. Item 3, we discussed replacing Ms. Bridget Landry, 3rd Justice of the Peace of Assumption Parish. The resolution to appoint Ms. Donna Booney to take her place and also to check with the state to make sure she can be reimbursed. I present this all in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee report, Chairman Alcorn.
Road and Bridge Committee met this afternoon, all members present. Item on the agenda, we discussed the repairs needed to Ward 8 Lift Bridge. The parish manager will come up with the schedule between Juror, Pondville and also Third to see what would be a good time to open the bridge and close the bridge for further repairs. And the parish manager will also start obtaining quotes. We had a deviation where we received an update for the substantial punch list item for the road program, which has ended. And the engineer, Mr. Sawa, will give the jury a formal report on what has been done, what has been completed and incompleted at our next meeting. So no actions on these items, but I give you these 2 items in the form of a
The
motion.
only thing I have for the public to know that we open it, but we only open it to let the boats out and, because we could be closing it for a while. We're not
Correct.
gonna be opening it and keeping it open. We open it just for them to get in and get out, and then we'll be closing it.
Right, but
Right.
Mr. Aaron is gonna get,
Will
Mr.
be
Aaron,
accessed by vehicle.
Right, yeah, that's what we wanna make sure, 'cause
Right.
we don't want it,
right, but Mr.
Right.
Aaron will get with
Yeah.
you guys to come up with a scheduled time and date to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
And information will be relayed to the
Cause
public.
we wanna leave the bridge open, closed for traffic to pass.
Got you covered. Accept my report. That's my report.
All right,
Second.
motion to accept the report by Mr. Alcorn.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee report. Finance Committee met at 5:15 today. All members were present. We approved to pay the list of bills submitted through January 3rd, 2025. And we heard from the Chamber of Commerce and approved the 4th quarter allocation. They mentioned to us that they have that banquet coming up soon. January 24th is the deadline to submit any businesses for Business of the Year Award, and that they have made their selection for the Teenager of the Year Award.
Motion to accept as read.
Motion to accept by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report. Chairman Nakane.
Engineering Grants Committee met, all members are present. First item, we had an update from GIS Engineering concerning Jollamoya, Bertrandville, Bell Roads, and Constant projects. No one from the planning design group was here. give us a report. We had an update from Infinity Engineering on parish-wide sewer plant improvement projects. No action was done on that one, though. Update from the accounts grant coordinator, which we did approve a resolution for the grant part. And, of the resolution saying a $75,000 match. We approved that. We had an update from South Central Planning Development Commission. Request approval and authorization for president to sign the line of credit application for Grant Park Planning and Construction. We had update on fire hydrant project, update on the Ag Center roof project, and allowed the engineer to go out for bids. Update on courthouse renovation projects, and allowed to do a sewer analysis and not to exceed $10,000. No update on attack of Paul. Request approval, approval to approve a 1 foot hardship variance on side property lines at both 3207, 3209 Lee Drive and Ward 8, and we tabled number 11. But I'll let a form of a motion.
Motion to accept the report by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Pondville, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item, public hearing report, as it relates to the proposed 2025 budgets. We had no public comment, so at this time I entertain a motion to accept the budgets for 2025.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Nakane, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is request approval of resolution in opposition to the East Grand Lake project in the Atchafalaya Basin. So this was, where the Atchafalaya Basin Keeper came present to us, in December. You remember he had difficulty with his presentation, but, so I had a subsequent meeting with him to understand a little bit more about what was going on, here. So just kind of give you in summary, I have the resolution, a copy of it, that everyone has on their desk, and I guess I'll read it in its entirety in a second, but just to give everyone an update on what the East Grand Lake project is. It's not what it is, a project to reintroduce Atchafalaya River water on the east side of the Atchafalaya River. There's two other projects that were done recently in the northern end of the basin that are similar to this, that have basically decimated those areas of the basin, refilled them with silt, and areas that were producing crawfish are now silted in and are high ground. So the request that the Atchafalaya Basin Keeper asks is that the jury object to the project in its current form. And there's a meeting January 16th at 6 p.m. at the Bayou Pigeon Heritage Hall to discuss the submittal of the plan of the residents and the Atchafalaya Basin Keeper and the LCPA West to submit a plan to CPRA that they consider sediment traps and other items whenever they're putting these types of projects in, so that the fresh water can be sent, but they have a way to get the silt out so that we're not filling up the basin. So basically, any areas that get filled up with silt can no longer be, crawfish won't be able to be harvested in those areas.
So it's gonna be January 16, you said?
January 16th at 6 p.m. at Bayou Pigeon Heritage Hall.
All right.
It's a community meeting. They're gonna be giving a presentation on how we got to this point and what we need to do to move forward. So they're asking for any residents in Assumption Parish that have any interest in the Atchafalaya Basin to attend and be informed and give their comments. So the resolution as it stated is, whereas the Atchafalaya River Basin contains the largest remaining wetland forest in North America and irreplaceable national treasures, and whereas the Atchafalaya Basin cyclist Tupelo swamps are the most productive wetlands in the world, and whereas the Atchafalaya Basin wetlands are the #1 producer of crawfish in the entire world, and whereas the Atchafalaya Basin wetlands are about the most important wetlands for migratory birds in the Western Hemisphere and will become the most important as sea level rises and our delta disappears. And whereas the Atchafalaya Basin wetlands can feed more aquatic birds per acre than any other wetland in the world. And whereas the Atchafalaya Basin is critical to Louisiana's culture as the last bastion of the Cajun culture. And whereas the Atchafalaya Basin is designed as a spillway protecting communities from flooding all the way to Lafayette to the west, Morgan City to the south, from Baton Rouge to New Orleans on the east. And whereas the Atchafalaya Basin protects our entire industrial corridor, including over 150 industrial plants between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and the largest port in the Western Hemisphere, the Port of South Louisiana. And whereas communities from Bayou Sorrel and Bayou Pigeon to Morgan City on the east and communities on the west side will have no future if we keep filling in the basin's wetlands. And whereas the basin's flood capacity is critical to protect much of South Central Louisiana from flooding, and whereas the loss of flood capacity is already responsible for the record flood in 2021 that created great misery to communities from Bayou Pigeon and Bayou Sorrel to Morgan City. And whereas similar projects, the Buffalo Cove project and the Bow Bayou project, have filled huge amount irreplaceable wetlands to the detriment of all. And whereas the East Grand Lake project has the potential to fill huge amounts of wetlands with sand and silt. Now therefore be it resolved that the Central Parish Police Jury in regular session convened this 8th day of January does hereby express its opposition to the Grand Lake project in the Atchafalaya Basin. At this time, I entertain a motion to adopt this resolution. Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is request approval to reappoint Ms. Carol Oquin as board member of the Library Board of Controls for a 5-year term.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any other items?
Mr. President, one announcement, Judge, Tony Falkman Menard will be sworn in next Wednesday, the 15th at 6 p.m. here at the Williamsville complex, if anybody's able to attend.
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.